Okay, we are live. We are live. I want to say good evening in my usual way. Good morning, good afternoon. I am not sure where anyone is watching from, so I usually love to greet like this. I'm from Nigeria. We're streaming from Nigeria. So, and if you're just joining this stream, please do well to introduce yourself. Let us know where you're watching from. And today, we're going to be looking at the sixth habit of highly effective people, and I have backstage with me someone, a very interesting personality you would like to encounter today. So, very quickly, without further waste of time, I'm going to be doing the introduction of our guest today. We have a guest reviewer, and the person is no other but nurse Juliet Alabrah. She's behind the stage with me here today. Nurse Juliet Alabrah. She's behind the stage here, and I'll just quickly do an introduction right now. Let me just stop this music. So, Nurse Juliet Alabrah, she's a nurse. And one amazing thing I know about Nurse Juliet is that she's a cancer survivor. She's an influencer, she's a speaker, she's an MC, and she's a 43-year-old woman and married with children. And in few days' time, I think on the 14th of this month, she'll be 44. So there will be cake all over the place. So she's deeply rooted in her Christian faith. She's a senior nursing officer, registered midwife, and a pediatric nurse at Central Hospital, Warri Delta State, Nigeria. Nurse Juliet Alabrah focuses on educating adolescents, women of childbearing age, and pregnant women in antenatal and postnatal clinics about healthy living and the dangers associated with the abuse of antimicrobial agents. Outside of healthcare commitments and all these nursing jargons, she tries on various hobbies, especially in pursuing new knowledge, utilizing artificial intelligence in delivering impactful health talks, videos that you can find on her social media platforms. She loves cooking, dancing, and spreading joy wherever she goes. This is somebody from, even from the photo right now, you can learn that about her. And I know about the wonderful stories she tells with her contents using artificial intelligence. So academically, she holds a registered nurse certificate from the School of Nursing Warri. She's a registered midwifery certificate from the School of Midwifery Sable, and another registered pediatric nursing certificate from the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. She obtained a Bachelor of Nursing Science from St. Monica University, Cameroon, and recently she just completed her Master's in Maternal and Child Health Nursing from the prestigious University of Port Harcourt. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to us a very resilient cancer survivor who continues to make a positive impact on countless lives. And she showcases her talents as an event MC and also a business woman. This is someone I know closely. She has been in my class several times, and I'm happy to have you here today. Nurse Juliet Alabrah, good evening, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, the digital librarian Sylvester. Good evening,
Yes.
everyone. I'm glad to be here
Yes.
with you.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. So, like I said, once again, those of us who are watching who are just joining, please tell us your name, where you're watching from, so we can identify you live on this stream. So, without further ado, we will just go to the business of today. We are reviewing the 7 habits of highly effective people. We are through with habit 5, We did habit 5 last weekend where we talked about seek first to understand, then to be understood. That was the principle of empathic communication. Today is a very special day, and we are treating the principle of creative cooperation, and which is the habit number 6. Habit number 6, synergize. And Nurse Juliet will be doing justice to this topic today. But Nurse Juliet, before we do that, I would like to play a short video. Um, let me just introduce. Let me put on the screen the book so that those who are following us live now can be able to see some of the areas we have highlighted. So I'll play a short video, less than 1 minute, that can just give us an insight into what we're about to talk today.
Now imagine there are two people and a tree with 5 apples on it. They're both too short to reach the apples, but if one of them sits on the other's shoulders, he can reach all 5 of the apples. This is called synergy. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that you can't achieve this with everyone, but you should always be looking for opportunities to create synergy. With every synergistic opportunity you create, you can gather many more apples than you otherwise would by yourself. Habit number 6 is synergize.
Exactly. So, Juliet, what do you think about that video in respect to what we're discussing today?
Yeah, that video is a very inspiring one. When you say the whole is greater than the parts and of itself, because when we say I'm trying to marry it with the bunch of a broom. You know, the bunch of a broom is a collaborative effort of other strands of broom coming together. And when the brooms are together, you cannot break the bunch of the broom because of the collaboration. The brooms have come together. Then when we say the whole is greater than a part, for example, you bring out one of that stick of a broom, it's a part of the whole. So the
Exactly.
whole is greater than the part, meaning that that broom or the group of apple coming together, the bunch of broom coming together is greater than that one stick of broom. What it implies is that there is power in synergy, there is power in collaboration, there is power in getting ideas from other areas. You cannot just focus on one area. When you bring other ideas together, other persons together, and you work out a solution to a problem, you get a good result. But a situation
Exactly.
whereby you want to try on your own and seek solution to a particular problem, sometimes you can come out with a solution, but sometimes when you come up with other ideas, that is you try to synergize, you get idea from other persons, you get idea from other areas, it gives you a kind of complete and a perfect results to that
Success.
problem.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much. So, having said that, let's just continue. Thank you for that insightful knowledge shared about this book. So, I think let's quickly, for the sake of those who may be watching now, who may not be sure what synergy means, I think if you see here, I highlighted how Stephen Covey defined synergy. He defined it as, it says it means that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that's exactly what you have described using a broom. So very quickly, as part of what we do in this session, what we do is there's a part where we also read. But before we read that, I don't know, is there any other thing you may want to let us know about some of the lessons you deduce or drew from your study of this book especially this chapter that talks about synergizing.
Okay. The lesson I learned from this the six habits which talks about synergize. I learned one thing is value diversity. You need to
Exactly.
recognize that everyone has a unique talent and perspective to offer. You have to see diversity as an asset rather than a hindrance to cooperation. Because when you diversify, it gives you a kind of a push. When we talk about synergy, it's a kind of a catalyst. I think even
Yes.
it's also it's
Covey
also
described it as
emphasized in
that.
the book. Yes, Covey described it
Mm.
as a catalyst, a kind of
Yeah.
something that help to propel you to make you go further, or that we enable you to do something behind or out of your comfort zone, out of
Exactly.
your box of your circle of influence. You have to come out.
Yeah.
So when
Mm.
the word synergy, it cuts across all aspects of life, all aspects of humanity. So
Exactly.
one of the lesson I learned is value diversity. The second thing I learned is maintain an open mind, because in the book
Mm.
it talks about synergy in communication. When you are communicating, you have to open your mind, listen. Don't rush to conclude. You have to be a good listener. You have to listen. You open your mind to listen to what
Hello. Okay. I think we're having a bit of a network challenge. Uh, Not Juliet, can you hear me? Are you still there?
point I
Okay.
gathered from the book,
Mm.
collaboration multiplies solutions. When you collaborate with others,
Mm.
it multiplies the solution. Coming together in the spirit of mutual understanding, it does what? It allows for creative solution, not what accessible to any person alone. Unity foster collective
Exactly.
growth. Then you seek the win-win outcome. Some persons are so negative,
Mm.
they feel that they cannot
Mm.
do things, or they just feel that
Mm.
this is how I know it, this is how I've been
Mm.
doing it. I'm comfortable in
Mm.
this aspect. That's complexity.
Mm.
As far as I'm concerned,
Mm.
complexity is a sin. You cannot just remain
Mm.
where you are, be comfortable with what you are doing. So you have to seek the win-win outcome rather than compromise or domination. You want to dominate. So synergistic cooperation aims for all parties to mutually benefit from the relationship, not just the betterment of self, but the betterment of all. You need to carry everybody
Exactly.
along in your team. You
Exactly.
carry everybody
Mm.
along, you move on, you have a good
Yeah.
solution. Then lastly, what I learned is relationships matters. When we talk about synergy, it's like I said, it cuts across all aspects. You have to synergize in your relationship, in your communication, in your education, in your business. The things you do, you have to synergize. So when it comes to that relationship matter, the ethic of reciprocity and caring for one
Mm.
another, it underlies that positive teamwork and human uh, prosperity. So it fosters connection between people to create synergetic outcome. So that moral heart of synergy is valuing our shared humanity and lifting each other up through mindful what? Cooperation and a collective wisdom. So when we come together, it increase our knowledge, it increase our ideas, it gives us a quick solution to our problem. So that these
Mm.
are the 5 points that I learned from
Mm.
this
Wow.
point, the
Wow.
sixth habit of synergy, according to
Wow.
Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey.
Yes,
Wow.
you have to
Wow.
open
That's
your mind
beautiful.
to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
while I was your student in one of your AI class, even
Mm.
as a nurse,
Mm.
I did not just keep myself or narrow my knowledge to
Knowledge.
nursing and bedside nursing or caring for my patient. I had
Mm.
to, as a digital nurse, as
Mm.
a nurse that want to update her knowledge, I had to come out
Yes,
and
and
learn
stand
other
out.
things
Yeah,
and learn other things.
exactly.
That's how I got to learn about AI and using AI in my nursing career. And it helps me.
Exactly.
And I'm happy doing that
Exactly.
because I tried
Yeah.
as much as possible to open my mind to learn. So if I did
To
not open my
learn.
mind
Yeah.
and narrow my mind, I will look at it as, what has this AI got to
Yes.
do with nursing
Do
career?
exactly.
But
Mm-hmm.
with technology, and the world is a global village, you learn,
Mm.
you relearn and unlearn. So I am
Unlearn.
ever
Thank you.
ready to learn new things in order for me
Wow.
to give a
Wow.
better care to my patient and to the general public.
Wow. Wow.
I think
This is
I'll
amazing.
stop here so
This
that
is
let me not look
amazing.
at it. I'm
Yeah,
talking too
yeah.
much.
Seriously, I don't know. I was trying to take notes. I didn't know. I felt like I said, okay, thank God this is a recorded session. So even those that are unable to watch it live right now, some of you may be watching this as replay. Please just drop your feedback for Nurse Juliet on what you think about her insights that she's giving. Really, these are really very, very important points you are raising, Ma. Thank you so very much, Ma, for sharing these even practical examples to help us understand the points better. So very quickly, I would like you to, because the purple highlighters in our in our book review requires us to actually read aloud. So I'm going to increase the font a little. I don't know if you can see them better now so that you can help us quickly read this lesson here. Because at this point, Stephen Covey was talking about synergy in the classroom. He talked about synergy in
Yes,
business, synergy in
yes.
communication, and all that. So I just thought we should read out this particular story to our viewers to learn from. Over to you, Ma.
Yeah, when I read it, I was amazed. I love this part. I love this part because
Exactly.
of the interaction and what happened in the class, and
Yes,
they plan what they have in mind. At the end of the day, they change everything. They change their topics, they change their project, and all that. So
exactly.
let me go straight to the highlighted
Reading it.
information. I'll never forget a university class I taught in leadership philosophy and style. We were about 3 weeks into a semester when, in the middle of a presentation, one person started to relate some very powerful personal experiences, which were both emotional and insightful. A spirit of
Mm,
humility and reverence fell upon the class. Reverence towards this individual and appreciation for his courage. This spirit became fertile soil for a synergistic and creative endeavor. Others
mm,
began to pick up on it, sharing some of their experiences and insights, and even some of their self doubt. The spirit of trust and safety prompted many to become extremely open rather than present what they prepared. They fed on each other's insight. This was what blew my mind.
mm.
They fed on
Exactly.
each other's insight and ideas and started to create a whole new scenario as to what that class could mean. If you go further, he said, I was deeply involved in the process. In fact, I
Mm.
was almost mesmerized by it because it seemed so magical and creative. And
Creative.
I found myself gradually loosening up my commitment to the structure of the class and sensing entirely new possibilities. He went further to say it wasn't just a flight of fancy. There were what? There was a sense of
It's
maturity and stability and substance which transcended by far the old structure
the
and
old
plan.
structure.
It's so, in fact, so he went
Exactly.
further to say, he said they had to abandon the old
The
syllabus.
old syllable.
They
Yes.
purchased textbooks. Can you imagine? and all the presentation
Exactly.
plans. And we set up new purposes and projects
Purposes.
and assignments. We became so excited about what was happening that in about 3 more weeks, we all sensed an overwhelming desire to share what was happening with others.
Yes.
We decided to write a book containing our learnings and insights on the subject of our study, principles of leadership. Assignments were changed. Interesting. New project
Everything, the whole lecture.
new project undertaken, new things formed. People worked much harder than they ever would have in the original class structure, and for an entirely different set of reasons.
Exactly.
And lastly,
Exactly.
here, you see, out of this experience emerged an extremely unique, you know what, when you say unique, something special. Out of this whole
Special,
experience,
exactly.
we came up with
Mm.
a special group, a cohesive and what? And synergistic culture
Synergistic,
that
a way
that
of life.
did not end with the semester. For years,
Mm-hmm.
alumni
Wow, wow. We need to hear you. What's happening? Network. Oh my
even today,
goodness.
many network, even today,
Yes,
he
please.
said even today,
Yes.
many, yeah,
Mm.
many years later, when we see each other, we talk about it and often attempt to describe what happened and why. You see,
Why?
because of just
That's
one
so
person,
amazing.
the person
Exactly.
came up with an open
Mm.
mind, open
Mm.
communication, synergetic communication. That is why when you are communicating with your spouse, with your lecturers, with your students, with your patients, your clients, your customers, all walks of life, whoever, you need to have an open mind, have an open communication, because it's not something of you are making it up. You need to have an open
Mm.
mind to communicate with people and whoever comes across your way, so that it will give them that genuinity about you, your integrity will be
Mm.
maintained, and they see you as
Mm.
somebody that is straightforward. So in this book,
Exactly.
Covey has really expatiated and open a kind of authentic leadership style.
Mm.
Not just an authentic leadership style, a transformative leadership style, someone that is transformative in your leadership
Mm.
in all walks of life. You have to be what? You have to
Exactly.
learn and try to transform people around you and let them see the goodness in you. So it's a very
Mm.
interesting book.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Now, today seems to be a very special day that we have you. We understand the nature of your work. Even on duty now, we believe you are doing this from your duty post. And so just so that we round up before it's 30 minutes, I want to just quickly run through some other parts of this book. Meanwhile, I don't want to re-emphasize the points you have made, since this is a video we can easily rewind and watch after now. Anyway, I would just like to recognize my brother, Lika John. Thank you for joining this live stream. Powerful idea from our nurse. One has to be flexible in life. Knowledge, they say, is power. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Alika, for dropping that comment. We hope to see more comments from other viewers. But there's something I just want us to take a look at, and that is negative synergy. Just as we know that synergy can bring about positive outcomes, it's important to know that Stephen Covey also mentioned that there's something called negative synergy. You may be giving all the positive vibes, you may be trying to be nice, but then there's one part I highlighted here that says how much negative energy is typically expended when people try to solve problems or make decisions in an independent reality. How much time is spent in confessing other people's sins, politicking, rivalry, etc., and so whatnot. So the point, in summary here, is that Stephen says, I've come to believe that the key to interpersonal synergy is interpersonal interpersonal synergy, intrapersonal synergy. That is the synergy within ourselves. Some of us, we have not been able to settle this synergy within ourselves. We are still battling and fighting with ourselves. So it's going to be really difficult for us to actually overcome this victory and be able to synergize and think win-win solutions for ourselves and those around us. So another part of the book talked about valuing the differences, which Nurse Juliet has also highlighted. Then the force field analysis. If you have the physical book, so the diagram, the force field analysis, I wish I could show it now. The force field analysis, it shows a particular diagram here about some of the forces that keeps fighting against you. And then for instance, in a family, for example, you have a certain climate in the house, a certain level of positive or negative interaction. But then, no matter how much you bring your own vibe, there will still be some forces that are trying to bring you up and down. According
Pull you
to
down.
Stephen Covey, yes, he called it the yo-yo effect causes you to feel after several attempts, going up and then going down. So I'm just taking this so fast. And then because there's no part that you have not featured, just for us to ensure that we actually go through the book, I'm just doing a summary of everything you have said. And then you also mentioned something that synergy is all around us. Everything we do, it is nature. Even nature itself work together. The sun, the moon, everything, the whole universe, they work in synergy. No one can live without the other. Synergy works. And Stephen Covey is saying that synergy is a correct principle. It is the crowning achievement of all previous habits that we have learned. Although you cannot control the paradigms of other people, that's whatever people think, you cannot control it. But the interaction, the synergistic process, a great deal of synergy, therefore, is within your own circle of influence. So, having said this, I would like to round up so that Nurse Juliet can give us our final words by saying that when you see only two alternatives, yours and the wrong one, you can look for what? A synergistic third alternative. So, Nurse Juliet, what do you think about this final statement? When you are in between people and things are not seeming to work, you have an opinion, another person has another opinion. Stephen Covey is saying we should look for a synergistic third alternative. What do you think, Ma, as we round up?
Yeah, when we say looking for a synergistic alternative, it might not be within your circle of influence. It might not be
Mm,
within your niche, but
mm,
it's something that will propel you, something
mm.
that will take you to the next level. So when
Exactly.
you are in a kind of a dilemma, you look at your right, you look at your left, you have to
Mm,
move on. It still boils down
mm,
to that positive mindset, because when you have a
mm,
negative mindset, you will not see the beauty of life. You will not see the beauty of things, because that's one thing that came up when I was passing through the journey of cancer. When I was diagnosed, I personally, in fact, I was the one that diagnosed myself initially, because I was invited for a health talk to discuss on breast cancer. So when I was educating the group of women on how to examine themselves, at the end of the day, I go home, I say, our own in our pidgin English language, our own, we
yeah.
now only talk with sabi talk. We no get time for ourselves. So I was now
Yes.
practicalizing what I taught this group of women. And lo and behold, that was how I
Yes.
detected a lump. But I look at
Wow.
myself, what do I do? That is the
Mm.
alternative synergy.
Mm. Synergy.
You have to
Yes.
pick.
The third.
Here's the
Yeah.
third alternative you have to pick. I
Mm,
look up, I look and say, well, if I worried, if I cried, it will not change any different. It will not
no.
change any difference. So it's to
Mm,
seek for a solution. Immediately I went,
mm,
do all the necessary investigations and all that, and the result came out that it was cancer. So I will just focus and positive that I will
mm.
focus on my treatment. And because of that positive mindset I had, I completed the ninth section of chemotherapy. And
Wow.
I keep on going with what? With
Wow.
resilience.
Mm.
I did not calm down. And I promised myself that I will not look depressed within my family, even the public. I will not come out looking depressed. I will always look what? Look strong. Because a lot of persons, they are looking up to me. By the time I come up and I'm not looking depressed, my dear, you are, in fact, worry people will say it don't finish. So I had to like pick up that positive mind and move on. So you must what? You must look for the alternative. The alternative is comfort. That thing that you are doing that gives you joy. That thing that you feel that will you have to move on. Even despite your problem, despite your challenge, you just have to move on. That was what kept me going. So you have to
Wow.
what?
Wow.
Keep on going and have that positive mindset. Use it as your third
Yeah.
alternative.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I feel really encouraged. I feel really motivated and inspired by your story. And honestly, I hope that you watching this video right now, this inspires you to think differently and then also influence those around you positively. Go for the third synergistic alternative. So as we round up, I'd like you to look at the screen. You'll find some application suggestions. I want us to consider these suggestions. I think I made them a little more easier for us to read. So number one says, think about a person who typically sees things differently than you do. Consider ways in which these differences might be used as stepping stones to third alternative solutions, which Nurse Juliet has just given. Perhaps you could seek out his or her views on a current project or problem, valuing the different views you are likely to hear. So, Nurse Juliet, if you see now, there's another option here that is another homework says, make a list of people who irritate you. Do they represent different views that could lead to synergy if you had greater intrinsic security and value the differences? So let us take this assignment more seriously, because even those people that you are thinking they are your problems, they might not actually be your problems if you start thinking proactively and start thinking differently towards these people. So once again, everyone, please, if you are here, just type in the comment section to help me appreciate Nurse Juliet Alabrah. Thank you so much for finding the time to do this with us, Ma. We are so very grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma, for squeezing out time for this. I really appreciate you, Ma.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Like one
Yes,
of my
Ma.
departing words I will want to use is what
Mm,
Winston Churchill, what he said
mm,
that when he was
yeah.
called to lead the war coup or something, he said that
Mm,
all his life he has
mm,
prepared for this day.
mm,
Why did Winston Churchill say that word? It's because of his the way of life or the challenges that he has passed through. All these things
yeah.
has what has prepared him for what? For the future. And when that
Future.
hour, yes, when that hour came, the right time, when the hour came and he was asked to go and lead, they gave him the mantle of leadership and he grabbed it without
Exactly.
complaining. Why? Because he
Mm,
was ready. He has
exactly.
synergized into
Yeah.
different areas in life. And
Mm,
that is why you have to
exactly.
what? You have to synergize. You don't have to remain in your comfort zone. That was
Mm,
one thing that kept Winston Churchill strong for him to be able to carry on with that what that leadership role that was given to him. So
exactly.
I'm advising all the youths out there, whatever
Mm,
challenges you are passing through, you must pass through challenge to become somebody in life. Don't look at it that the whole world has come to an end. Don't look at it as this thing is difficult. I cannot do it. I can't is not in my dictionary. I always tell my children, I don't want to hear that word, I can't. Do it. Try. Keep on doing it. And you will see that you will come out of it. don't look at it as if it's difficult or you cannot do. You can. So you must push and push. That is what synergy is all about. Pushing you, giving you an extra power, giving you an extra mile to do what you feel that you cannot do. When you do that, you become a perfect person. When you are passing through challenges, try and what? Leverage into many things. Somebody was laughing at me that as a nurse, what are you doing with all these your AI pictures, all these things you are doing? I say, you don't know what I'm doing.
Really?
Yeah. You say you are wasting time. It's
My
time wasting.
goodness.
I say, look, because you don't
Who
know,
could have been saying
you
that?
don't know where I'm going and where I'm coming from.
Those
Do
AI
that.
images you create, they are changing lives, they are
Yes.
influencing people, they are passing out great messages. You can imagine.
I can't. In
Wow.
fact, I don't know. I just
Oh
cannot
my
do without
goodness.
it. So you have to move on. As a youth, as a young, a student, an entrepreneur, whoever you are, a librarian, be focused and
Mm,
open your mind. Open your mind to
mm,
read books. Open your mind
mm.
to leverage into other areas. Don't this book. This one has nothing to do with nursing. It's not related to nursing. No,
Mm.
read that
Exactly.
books. It will. It will.
Exactly.
I tell my children that it will prepare you and
Mm.
propel you for what? For the future.
Wow.
Prepare and
Wow.
propel. It will prepare you
Mm.
and prepare
Uh,
you for the future. You see yourself, you are above your equals. So it's not just remaining where you are. When I finished School of Midwifery, I enrolled for Institute of Safety Professionals as a safety professional. You get that? Somebody was saying, what do you want to use safety to do? I say, oh, remain where you are. It's it's something that you need to be versatile. That is what synergy is all about. Be versatile. Think big. Think the win-win. Don't remain in one place. Be proactive. Seeing the end from the beginning. Even as a nurse, when a patient is
exactly.
brought, as you are taking
Mm.
history, you are discussing with the patient, you have already seen the end from the beginning when you are taking history that this patient might
Exactly.
need oxygen. This patient might need tepid sponging. This patient might need what? IV fluid. You have seen the end from the what? Beginning. You have to open
From the
your mind.
beginning.
And as you attend to people, you see them as your own. You put yourself in their shoes. That is what we call emotional intelligence. Do what you want others to do unto you. So even as a nurse, I can be a patient tomorrow.
Wow.
I need to what?
Wow.
Open my mind and attend to them as if they are my relative. I don't need to know you before giving you a nursing care. So it's been a wonderful time. The digital librarian, I'm so excited and I'm honored to be with you. Thank you so much. Network.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
my network just disconnected me, but I believe that we have come to the climax of today. So before it's raining heavily over here, so I'm using two networks to make this work. So I want to say thank you once again for everything. Thank you so very much. All right. So I would like to say good night to everyone right now. Thank you, good night, and thank you for joining us. See you next weekend where we will be bringing to a close this book review. God bless every one of you.
All right. Take care and happy weekend.
Everything don't matter, mama, baby. Baby girl, I want to show you off. I go take you all around the world. Make sure you see I get this money. Forget, you don't go regret. Baby girl, I want to show you off. I go take you all around the world. Make sure you see I get this money. Forget, you don't go regret. Hey, I know you. Many things for my mind, I want to do for you. I love you, baby, don't be lying. Not only you, take my eyes, oh. I get the rubber, I go spend you. I go spend you. I go spend you. If I do you wrong, I'm sorry. And if I miss you much, I'm calling. Hey, my baby, I'll be on the you. Now you are choosing. See, I love you now. What do you use? You give me now. What do